Types of transport facilities available in Australia. Australia is a multicultural and diverse country that is home to residents of different origins. The country is a conducive one that is safe and welcomes visitors. Perhaps this is the reason why many tourists visit Australia annually. Not only that, Australia has an impeccable educational history and provides students with the best educational facilities. No wonder international students flock to Australia to pursue further studies. In addition, Australia has highly developed facilities to make life easy for people living in Australia. Such facilities include recreational facilities, transport facilities, healthcare centers, and so on. This article will touch on the transportation facilities available in Australia, as there are many types of the transport system in Australia. Similarly, the transportation business in Australia is divided into two categories: private and public-owned transport systems. An example of a private transport firm is Foure Mile Transport. Foure Mile Transport is an Australian transport company located in Victoria, Australia. Why transportation is important in Australia? Transportation is very important to Australian residents because it allows them to move from place to place. It is most especially important to the working class who need to go to work and students who need to go to school. Transportation is also essential for healthcare workers who need to transport patients to the hospital during emergency purposes. So you can see how important it is to have a working transport system in Australia. Therefore, if you live in Australia, you won't have a problem when you want to move around. But first, you need to know the various transport systems present in Australia. The Australian transport system. Australia is a developed country that has many different types of transport systems. This includes water transport, land transport, rail transport, and air transport. Land transport. Under the land transport category, we have cars, bicycles, buses, taxis, and many more. Rail transport. The rail system in Australia is of two types: the train and the subway systems. These systems are connected to all regions and places in Australia. Australia has a very large railway that spans thousands of kilometers of tracks. Rail transport is very convenient and accessible to all Australian residents. There are also privately owned rail lines as well as government-owned rail lines. Taxis. Taxis are more personalized, convenient, and expensive than buses. They can also travel longer distances than the normal bus. To get a taxi, simply flag down one by the roadside or order a taxi ride online. The beauty of using a taxi is that it is faster than buses and it doesn't carry many passengers. Therefore, you don't have to squeeze inside a limited space with strangers. You can also share rides with one or two passengers. Shared rides are even cheaper than a single passenger taxi. Bicycles are an alternative means of transport for those who want cheap means of transport. This is an ideal mode of transport for international students. Normally, most foreign students spend a huge amount of money annually on transportation like buses and taxis. But in Australia, one of the cheapest modes of transport is the bicycle. This is why international students prefer to ride bicycles from one place to another. As a student, you can rent a bicycle or buy one for yourself. To rent a bicycle, you can order one online and even share it with a friend. You should, however, note that you must have the recommended protective gear on if you want to ride a bicycle. Also, you must follow the traffic rules and lock your bicycle to prevent theft. Bus transportation. Taking a bus in Australia is as normal as eating because a bus is a cheap mode of transportation. It doesn't cost as much as taking a taxi, water transport, or plane. Hence, many international students